Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Kenya and this is the KBview. Thank you guys so much. That's the ones who've watched the last couple of videos. Like, I really want to thank you for your support. Also guys, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to this channel and this video, please, because I could use the support. Again, thank you to the ones who have been watching. I really appreciate it. Okay, now that we got that out the way, let's move on. I asked myself a question the other day, and the question was, who first told you it would make you crazy if you talk to yourself? I don't really remember where I heard that at, but I do remember hearing it somehow in my childhood. Like, if you talk to yourself, you know, you crazy, or if you do talk to yourself, don't answer yourself back, something along those lines, right? I don't remember where I heard it, but I did. And I also remember thinking, that people that meditate, when I was younger, I used to think, I don't know why, they was like somehow weird. I don't even know why I thought that, right? I don't even know where that seed was planted at. I don't necessarily think it was my parents. As a matter of fact, I know it wasn't. Somewhere throughout society, maybe something I watched or seen or whatever, that thought was in my mind about, you know, people who meditate, or, you know, again, if you talk to yourself, you're crazy. But that led me to this. So if you talk to yourself, you're crazy. So what does that make me if I talk to you? Wouldn't that make me crazy for talking to you? So it didn't really make sense to me, right? And if you go inside your own mind and your own spirit and your own thoughts, that somehow you're weird. How the hell is that possible? You're telling me that the creator of all gave you a mind and a spirit that he never intended for you to explore? That doesn't make any sense to me at all. So I'm going to scratch that theory. I think you should be speaking to yourself. I think you should be sitting alone by yourself and talking to yourself and having a real meaningful and purposeful conversation with yourself. Why not? Why are you told that that would make you crazy? Why are you told meditating is weird, or that's just some old witchcraft or some old crazy stuff like that? Why is it? I think it's because if I can get you to avoid yourself, if I can get you not to have meaningful and purposeful conversations and silence with yourself and solitude with yourself, and have you void having intuition and intuitiveness with your own self, then I can probably control you a little bit better, right? I can probably plant things in your mind that you might not necessarily want it there, but because you're not in full control of your own thoughts and you're not fully in tune with yourself, it can happen, right? So also, if I can keep you from talking to yourself and spending time with yourself and going inside yourself, I can keep you from finding out that you might have a little bit more power than you thought you had, that you might have a little more intuition and be more intuitive than you already are or already thought you were, right? Or could be, right? You might be become more aware of who you are, of your own strengths and your own power. And if you do that, then that might lead to some free thinking, right? That might make it a little bit harder for you to follow and to conform and to be programmed. That might be a reason why I want to take that ability and or thought to even speak to yourself and be alone with yourself, right? And to have those thoughts and to get in touch with yourself and to go inside of yourself. I might be more inclined to tell you that if I wanted to control you, you're crazy if you do that, right? So if you hear that enough, and the whole and the masses and everybody around you believe that, then you avoid that. You avoid yourself. So which leads me to the way my mind works. If you want to avoid you, hell, I might want to avoid you too, right? If you don't want to talk to you, I might not want to talk to you. The truth of the matter is, you bother yourself. You're bothersome to yourself. You're boring to yourself. So if you think that about you, I might be inclined to think the same thing about you too. I might be inclined to believe that you're bothersome and you're boring too, right? So I don't know. If you don't want to really fuck with you, like that, if you don't want to spend no time with you like that, if you don't like being alone with you, don't count on Kenya wanting to do it either, right? Because what I find out is people who have a scattered brain, who don't take the time to control their thoughts and to be in tune with their self and to really walk with some awareness of who they really are in this world, that ain't really the type of company I like to find myself in. While I have compassion for those type of people and I have mercy and I always wish awareness for them and enlightenment for them, and I try to always encourage them, it ain't really my cup of tea because I like people that like themselves. Simple as that, right? You say you do. You say you like yourself, then you'll be the first person to be like, oh, I love myself, I love me. Yeah, but do you really fuck with yourself like you really think you do? Are you really down to sitting in a room and sitting by yourself and sitting in complete silence without a telephone, without the TV, without social media? Are you really down to spend that time with yourself alone? Like, are you really down to develop a relationship with yourself? I don't know that you are. But I could tell you this, that if you neglected other relationships and that you have with people in your life, right? The way that you neglect yourself, you wouldn't have those relationships. If you avoided these other meaningful relationships that you have, or other people that you say you love and you care for, if you avoided them to the degree that you avoid yourself, they wouldn't be in your life. They wouldn't be hanging around. They will require more attention. But you won't give that to yourself. Are you afraid of yourself? I might be inclined to think you are. I think you drive a little bit afraid of yourself. And I'm sorry if you are. I can say that and suggest that, and maybe it's not the case, but for me, I think it was, right? I think I was afraid of what I might see if I stare at myself in the mirror, right? If I stay there long enough just to not do my makeup or just wash my face and just stay there for the purpose of really just checking in with me and seeing what my eyes is telling me, I kind of found that a little bit frightening, right? I think I was afraid of what I might see, what my mind might show me, right? What I might hear. Because there's a voice that you've been avoiding for quite some time. And if you're sitting in complete silence and there's no one there to distract you, guess what? You don't have no other choice but to hear that voice and deal with yourself. I don't know why you wouldn't anyways, because nobody rocks with you the way you rock with you, right? Nobody really holds you down the way you hold you down. Nobody's got your back the way you do. No one should know you better than you know yourself. So if all of that's all good, why you don't rock with yourself a little harder? Sit in silence. Shut the rest of the world out. I mean, if your idea of having some me time is just like laying on the phone and, overindulging in social media, I got news for you. That ain't me time. That's dumb time. That's distraction time. That's avoidance time, right? Shut all that shit out. Let it all go. Find you some space and some time to just be alone. Do it on purpose. Be like, you know what? Around 4:30, I'm shutting the rest of the world out, and it's just going to be me and my thoughts. And I am going to listen for direction and guidance from my spirit, which is all knowing and all wise and ancient and wiser than my physical body. I am going to sit here and just deal with that. And I won't be afraid of what I see, because I have news for you. You either deal with your deeds and your behavior and your past actions, or even now present actions in this lifetime, or you answer for them in the next lifetime where there's no room to iron it out and figure it out. So while you're still yet here, deal with yourself. Take that time to sit alone and be by yourself. When you keep in mind that you become what you think, you understand and you realize how important it is to sit alone and to learn how to just be in silence and solitude, and to train your mind and to reprogram your mind. Because if I can do that, I can get out of life the results that I really want, right? Whatever I truly desire, if I'm in full control of my thoughts and myself, and I'm fully aware of who I am and my strength and my powers and what I'm here for, I can just about do anything. I can overcome just about anything. I might even find out that I had the power all along to heal myself, because they say you made in his image, right? So don't that mean that I have that same power within me? I think it do. But you might not never know that if someone's never told you that, or if you never sat alone and trusted yourself enough to be guided by yourself and your own thoughts. So I would encourage spending some time alone with yourself, sitting in silence, take away the distractions, quit avoiding yourself, deal with yourself. And what's going to happen is you're going to find yourself being more calm, more logical, more rational, way more peaceful, right? You're going to start yearning that time to for yourself. You're going to start yearning that time to sit in silence and like, I'm looking forward to seeing what my spirit has to say to me today. I'm looking forward to becoming more aware of who I am. Now, I'm saying it like it's easy, but I know it's not, because I've done it. I do it. In the beginning, it's very, very difficult, especially if you have a mind that is used to doing whatever it wants and thinking whatever it wants whenever it wants to, right? Um, no matter how random, no matter how outrageous, it just goes all about and does what it wants. So if you have that kind of mind, then it can be a little bit more difficult in the beginning. But stick with it. It will be worth it to you in the end and everybody around you, right? So stick with it. Do what it takes to get past that uneasiness. If you're sitting in silence, and one of the best ways to train yourself and to train your mind and reprogram your mind and take total ownership of your thoughts and your awareness is to do it in silence alone, right? In the beginning, you might be sitting there in just complete silence, trying to just zero on in, just trying to become one with yourself and just sit in some peace, sit in some stillness and some calmness. And next thing you know, you're thinking about the dishwasher, you're thinking about your shopping list or whatever, what your kids did, what your husband did, what your wife did, whatever random thought it may be. That's cool, because it means that you're aware of it, right? Your mind's doing what your mind know how to do, right? Because whatever you do over and over is what you become good at, right? So your mind is used to doing it. That's cool. If your mind goes to that shopping list 20 times, 20 times you go back and get it and bring it back to that present moment, right? So the first couple of times that you sit in silence by yourself and just try to just get some stillness and some calmness and just a sense of peace, even if it's for 5 minutes, it will be a little difficult. And you may spend a whole 5 minutes going back and getting your mind and bringing it back into the present moment. It's okay. It's called training. It's called practice. The more and more you do it, the less and less you'll see that you have to go and take your mind, because your mind's going to learn now, I'm not in control no more. Kenya's in control. And so Kenya thinks about what she wants to think about. So your mind has no other choice but to sit back and wait from direction from you. And I assure you that that's a much better way to go as far as going through life and figuring it out, you being in full control, right? You thinking the thoughts that you want, you cultivating, your own thoughts, and you're in control of it, and you don't let your mind take you somewhere you wasn't planning on going right at the moment, or you're just not fully prepared to go to, or you're not in control of it. You are in control of the moment when you learn how to do things like that. So again, it's not easy, but it's worth it. And also the people around you is going to benefit from it too, because they're going to get a more present person, right? They're going to get a more engaged person, because when you're talking to them, use them as an example. Really actually practice on them. When you're talking to them and they're speaking and your mind checks out, go get your mind and bring it back to that moment so you can be fully present. So you're now more present, you're more engaged. They're having a more effective version of you and a more authentic version of you. They might not even have been fully aware that they wasn't getting that full and authentic version of you, because their mind was always drifting off and they don't have control fully over their minds, right? So again, take some time for yourself. Spend some time alone. Talk to yourself. Develop a healthy relationship with yourself. Trust the thoughts that are cultivating in your mind when you're controlling them. Trust your spirit. Trust you. Look to you first for advice. Sit in silence, because here's another thing. Every problem or situation that arises in your lifetime, you were born with the answers. We just not taught to look to ourselves and look within ourselves first. We're taught, ask somebody for some advice, ask somebody about this, ask you about it. Ask you for some advice. Ask your spirit, what should we do? How should we handle this? Go find a room and you have that conversation with yourself first. Don't talk to me unless you talk to you first, right? Don't just come to me with this blank like, oh, fix me. No, sit down and talk to you, because I want that full version of you. Give me the most of you that you can possibly give me. And you can only do that when you know who you really are, right? When you're fully aware of yourself, right? So do that. It's worth it, because as I'm sitting here thinking, I can't think of anything more dangerous than an uncontrolled mind, right? I can't think of anything more rewarding than a controlled mind, because a controlled and trained mind is less likely to conform. It's less likely to follow along just to get along. It's less likely to be programmed, right? So if you're fully in control of your thoughts, you're thinking more freely, you're thinking more critically, you're thinking more rationally, you're thinking for yourself. And if my job and my agenda is to control your mind and to program you to follow my program, a person that's thinking for themselves and that's fully in control of themselves is going to be a problem for me. So go be a problem for somebody else. Think for yourself, right? Spend some time alone with yourself. You're worth it. It's important. Don't be afraid of what you see. It always won't be uncomfortable. But in the beginning, it may be. But it's training and it's practice. And as we discuss more and more in these videos, you're going to start understanding why I keep pushing for this controlling and of your own mind and cultivating your own thoughts, right? So until next time, take some time for yourself, spend some time alone, cultivate your own thoughts, be in full control, try to be more present, try to be more aware, and you're going to see much better results for yourself. Be kind to yourself and the people around you. We'll speak later.